Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle, and I'm excited to be here with you. I am going to be rolling out a new series here where I interview couples about how they make their relationship work. I've done 4 interviews already, and today I'm going to roll out the first. But before we do that, I wanted to acknowledge and thank you, those of you who reached out to me after the boat night episode. That seemed to really strike a chord for a lot of people. And I got a handful of interesting messages from people who had points of view on what I was saying. I want to especially thank Kimberly. Kimberly, your note was so precious. I really appreciated hearing from you. There's no way that you can offend me with providing feedback about your experience and your perspective on what it is that is making you tick and what it is that you think would be helpful to me. I just really appreciate you taking the time to specifically address a couple of things that came up. And I just want you to know that I heard you and I appreciate you. And in general, I welcome your emails. I welcome your feedback on episode topics. I welcome your feedback on specific things that came up for you. I will do my best to respond. What I'm going to do is try and respond in Patreon, just to be a way to let people behind the scenes and give you some insight into what's going on for me. I also threw up a couple of videos from my vacation that I just got back on. One of them is kind of an if you know video for people who have been longtime listeners. The other one is me talking pretty academically about why marriage is kind of like a water slide. So if that's of interest to you and you're not yet a member of the Patreon community, please do that. That is the best way to support Marriage Therapy Radio financially and to help us keep the lights on over here. And it's really just the best way to stay on top of what's going on behind the scenes at Marriage Therapy Radio. What's going on out here in the general Marriage Therapy Radio world is I am today talking to Wes and Christa Hardin. Wes and Christa are a couple out of Florida. They have an Instagram platform called Enneagram and Marriage, and Christa herself is a relationship coach and has spent a bunch of time helping people understand how the Enneagram affects relationship dynamics. They're also parents. They're also just cool people who were generous enough to sit down and talk to me about a little bit of what makes their relationship work. We talk about one of my core values, which is the idea of practice, and how any relationship work really is a practice that you have to continue to work on and improve as you get better. We talk a little bit about the Enneagram, of course. We also talk about time travel, which is a new thing that I'm fascinated with. I think you'll enjoy hearing from Wes and Christa. Again, I'm glad to have them be the first in my set of interviews that I've done. I think I've done 4 of them, which I'll be rolling out over the next few weeks. And then I'm going to go through a little bit of a Kelly Ripa trying out new co-hosts kind of moment. I don't think we'll be looking for a permanent co-host, but we had to spend time with now 2 of my favorite clinicians and hear kind of what they have to say about how relationships work. So basically, what I'm saying is there's a lot of cool stuff getting ready to roll out on Marriage Therapy Radio. Again, if you want to be supportive, by all means, please continue to listen. Share Marriage Therapy Radio with your friends. Become active on Instagram. I think we just went over 4,000 followers, which is kind of cool. I don't know if that's a good number or not, but I'm excited about it. And again, you can join our Patreon community. You can do that by going to marriagetherapyradio.com and clicking on the banner that we have there, or just go to patreon.com/marriagetherapyradio. Again, it's a great way to just kind of be behind the scenes with me and some of the things that I am thinking about that don't make it to the air. But for now, I'm happy to share my first couple interview with you. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around.
So are you a counselor or a coach or something?
Yes, I am I'm a little bit of, mostly what I am in my day job is I'm a therapist, a couples therapist. So I see couples in Seattle, Washington. I have a pretty full practice, so I'm busy. I'm what's called a certified Gottman therapist. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also a certified relational life therapist. So that's Terry Reel's material, if you haven't seen Terry yet. Mm-hmm. I think I'm the only one in the world who is certified in both methodologies, which is not going to last for long, but it's a little badge of honor that I have at the moment. And then I have, with my partner, Laura, who is my teaching partner, not my wife, been running Marriage Therapy Radio for about 7.5 years. And she just retired. She just decided she was ready to be a mom and a endurance athlete and focus on other parts of her life. I'm 51. She's about 40. Just was kind of ready to do something else. And so now I'm kind of on my own. So I have this podcast. I have my practice, which is my main daily gig. And then I I hang out with my wife and my kids. My kids are adults. I have an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old. So yeah,
Oh, love
that's me in a
that.
Good for
nutshell.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
So,
blessed life, man. Doing a lot of good things.
I'm willing to say that now in a way that I wasn't willing to say a few years ago. I think I was always kind of a doomy, gloomy sort of like Eeyore kind of character in my life.
Mhm.
And I just kind of, I don't know, the last 5 or 6 years, I've just kind of been like, that doesn't do me any good. I'm not into it. I don't want to, and
Mhm.
it's just been fun to kind of go, all right, I'm going to enjoy the blessings that I have available. And that's going to be what I do. Yeah. So
Mhm. That's good. Oh, I love that shift. It's beautiful.
what about you guys? Who are you? Like, who am I talking to?
Go ahead,
I
Wes.
have in my, like on purpose, I didn't do a lot of pre-research because I'm trying this thing where I just really want to talk to people about
Mm.
their life, without talking about their job or their book or their,
Mhm.
their energy or their nonprofit or whatever it is. And so, um, but in my imagination, you have 3 children. Am I right?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know
you're
why I
good.
thought that, but I was like, I bet they have 3 kids. And are they young?
They're middle. They're
Okay.
19, 17, about to graduate, and 12.
Um, that is, um, that is anti my expectation because I thought I thought we were meeting at this time because your kids were going to be napping.
One of them's a dance, one of them's at a birthday party, and one of them's downstairs. So you weren't
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah.
Well,
Right on.
our dog's napping. He's always napping.
Yes.
So
Very cool.
Yes. And I'm a
So
marriage therapist turned coach. And Wes, you can tell about you.
sure, yeah. So I'm married to Christa. We have 3 kids, and I'm a medical provider. I'm a physician assistant in family practice.
right on. And how long have you guys been married?
Long time, since 2001.
Yeah, so
So
we're hitting
yeah.
24 years of marriage this year and 25 years since engaged. And then we've been together since we were 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Started dating in high school.
Yeah.
What do you have a story about that? Like, how do you make sense of that for yourselves?
We feel like it's made the most sense the whole way, and
Yeah.
it hasn't made much sense to break it off at any point. We've just felt really blessed to have found each other. We've seemed to be good for each other and also good for others, like even since the beginning.
Right.
Like it's
So weird.
it's fun how God has just kind of said, you guys are a thing, and you're going to do a lot more for the world together than if you were apart. And so we've just always kind of felt that. And so we've had these little tiny windows here and there, like every normal human beings, where we felt, we've questioned whether we should be together. And after talking it out, just no. Even just flirting with the idea, it doesn't seem like this is the way we want to go, and not livable, So we're one flesh, and that's the way we hope to always be till death do us part. And
Yeah.
so that's we're so grateful for that. But yeah, even at the beginning, so we got together at 16, and we
And you're
just
how
seemed
old
to be a
now?
really good fit.
We're 45.
Okay.
So we just, he was seeing me with another boyfriend. We were so young, obviously. And he goes, I want that one day. But he did not know, I want that one day. And so
Yeah.
the boyfriend went off to college, and he was a nice person, but he just was like, it wasn't the right person. Like we were saying, we were. And
Yeah.
so when he left for college and we broke up, he started to pursue me. This may get a bit into, maybe some of our conversation might go the Enneagram direction today.
Yeah.
I was just like, we're not the same type at all. And as Wes
Did you know
said,
that at 16? Were you aware of the Enneagram at 16?
yeah. I was like, I didn't know
She was aware of the
Enneagram.
Enneagram, but
Yeah, just we're not the same type. So I kind of really ran from him a lot
Yeah.
because I was like, you're Bible boy. I'm grunge girl. I'm not from Seattle, but I had the vibe going
Yeah.
as best as
Oh,
I
yeah.
could. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm an existentialist over here. Just please let me be. I think you're a great human, but anyway, I opened my heart, which is hard for me to do sometimes, and especially if I don't trust someone. And he was the kindest soul that I just like, okay, you're safe. You are good. And I want to stay out later. And I called my mom that first night. Can we just stay out later? And so it was like so good that he was that personality type to drive in and pursue, because we never would have made it.
The way I found you guys is that you I think you follow Marriage Therapy Radio on Instagram.
I do. Yeah, since that's my field. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Enneagram and marriage. So you have a specialty in understanding the Enneagram, which we've talked about a few times on the podcast. But when tell me what it is. Like, I'm a third grader. Like, how do you make sense of it to just the person who's never heard the word before?
Yeah. Well, I tell people there's a whole school of marriage therapy research that's beautiful, and that's what I did my clinical practice in. But I also began to discover the nuance of couples needed some more specificity, especially now I've been working with couples for 20 years. And so learning the Enneagram gave me a deeper dive much quicker. It's a personality, just like any other of the personality type sort of groups you could find, like Myers-Briggs, or obviously in more clinical settings, MMPI, et cetera. And so it's just a great, handy, I would say elegant way to give people a type if they find they are a fit to one of the 9 Enneagram types. And then we immediately get to the space of noticing their gift and their shadow in their relationship so much quicker than I might be able to do if I was just using family systems, IFS, general marriage tools, et cetera.
Some structure, right?
Yeah, so it's a personality tool. It's a personality typing tool. And again, I'm quite familiar with the Enneagram. But the way I always describe it to people is there's a sense that you have this kind of home base or home operating system. It's one of 9 types. And the way I always describe that being valuable is that when you have more vocabulary, you have more capacity to describe like kind of what's going on between whatever dynamic is there. So I'm an 8. I'm married to a 2. I don't know what you guys have going on.
Awesome.
I'm a 1 and she's 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primarily. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how do you describe that? Like that's foreign language to people. If I said, hey, what's it like being a 1 married to a 7? How do you explain that in just like general, like everyday terms?
Yeah. So opposites attract was a for sure part of our story, because I love to have joy and freedom and expression and almost that existential questioning going on at all times. And then.
Yeah. So there's 9 personality types in the Enneagram, and they each have different, ways of kind of looking at things and what makes them tick. And so for 1, you're usually more systematic, more, exacting, rule following, detail noticing, this kind of thing, like people might say like a type A personality or something, that's like the stereotype. They're also called like the perfectionist, and which is, I don't think that helpful, but, it's somebody who likes rules, who likes structure, who likes order, and they like goodness, And that's my basic personality structure, I feel like, that really matched me. And along with that are going to be some gifts and also some pitfalls that I would be more prone to than somebody in a different personality type, like maybe a type 7,
Yeah.
Where a type 7 is stereotypically not someone who notices details very easily, but who is very creative, who's very spontaneous, who really likes looking forward to something new and next, So not typically the traditional type, or conservative type, more of a progressive, forward-moving, let's explore new things type. And those are very different, and can make for either a tug of war where you're pulling in different directions, or a wonderful complement, to each other, which is the way we like to look at it, in ways that I really need in my life, and that she needs too. I have things that offer to her too.
Yeah. So tell me how that shows up for you, like on a Wednesday, for better or for worse. Like how do the two of you bump into each other in ways that are challenging? And it doesn't have to be strictly because of your type, but like, what's a typical sort of up and down season like for the two of you?
Yeah. Well, this is kind of easy to talk about because right now we're in the season with teens, and it's very easy to see the differences. We both love fun. That's something we both have in the Enneagram world, a line or an arrow to. So we do very well with fun with our teenagers. It's a no-brainer that if we have free time, we're going to want to, if it's local, do something fun, travel, do something fun. All the kids, teenagers, they love that too. But when we're trying to get the job done, we're going to do it differently. He's going to say, I want an earlier bedtime, more traditional time for husband and wife to go to bed together. I'm going to be like, I'm just getting my energy up after a long day. I'm ready to relax, kind of sprawl out. So I would say on a Wednesday, we might hit that rut. We might not if we're both doing our, like he said, expansiveness practices where I'm saying like, let's try to balance out for a few nights a week that we go to bed a little earlier together. And then a few nights a week, we allow ourselves the freedom to do the different things. So, and I think that the marriage research lately has been so much more friendly to that, to not being as rigid, like you must go to bed together at 9 o'clock. We do sleep in the same bed, but yeah, I was just thinking like that's a Wednesday.
So bedtimes would be one of those areas where it comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you would add?
Yeah. I mean, but she helps me, like, let's just stick with the bedtime since you brought it up. But like, can you please tell her how important it is to go to bed at a reasonable time? Like, I need some support here. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I work in medicine, so I'm always thinking about health, you know. And do you know how important it is for your brain to clear out waste and move things from short-term to long-term memory and your immune system, all this stuff. So I'm trying to stay healthy for all of us. So I try to keep us, you know, at a reasonable bedtime, but then at the same time, you got to live a little bit, you know what I mean? And there are harder days where I need to watch that one extra episode of whatever is Psych, you know,
now.
And which is a really great show for 1s and 7s to watch together, by the way.
Are you aware, by the way, of this? Do you know about the like kind of the secret in Psych?
Oh, the pineapple secret?
Yeah. Every single episode has a pineapple in it somewhere.
That's great.
You know that. You like the show too?
I've watched, I don't know, a handful of episodes. One of my daughters was pretty into it for a season, but
it's fun.
It's fun for kids, some of the kids,
Yeah.
But you know, so yeah, you have that tug in each direction that's good for each other, you know. I'm helping to keep her healthy, and she's helping to keep me healthy in other ways, you know, emotionally. Because you got to have that. You got to have some brain candy at the end of the day, mentally, you know. And so that's always very good. But then, throughout the day, I mean, I'm doing my thing. I will go to work. You know, I get up early and go to my job, which is more structured because I have this patient load and I'm doing these same kinds of cases. And then her day is working from home, and she's being creative in making these podcast episodes and Instagram posts and writing articles and stuff like that. And so it's it's set up well for somebody who's more of a type 7 to have a little more adventure in their day-to-day life. And so we go off and do our own things in those ways, and then we come back together in the evening. And of course, she has dinner on the table at 6:30 p.m. exactly as is good and right and biblical.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So, but it sounds like you lean in a little bit to the part of the one personality that appreciates precision and excellence and rightness and wrongness, like that. You get that part, which I want from my medical professional. Like I want that person to be like, "Yep, this is the thing that you're supposed to." You know, I don't know if I necessarily want it from my you know, from my podcast host, but whatever. It is what it is. Right. You told me that your kids are teens. You said 19,
17 and 12.
19, 17, 12. And I've been lately saying with my 18 and 22-year-old that parenting young adults is harder than parenting young kids. Like, how do you think about parenting those guys right now? Like, have you evolved the way you think about it as they've gotten older? Like, what has that journey been like for you?
I think we're not quite as far along as you are yet. I think we're going to see some of those when our kids have relationships with other people. I really do. They haven't.
Or they're not dating their future husbands
Yeah.
or
Right,
wives yet?
exactly.
Yeah. So we're not
like
quite
us
there.
at their age,
Right?
you know.
I know. We always say
I
that.
know.
We're like,
What would you do? What if they came home and they were like, I'm going to marry this guy? What would you, or, I don't know.
he
Are they
would be
girls, boys?
happy. He would be
Well,
like, yeah.
it depends.
If they were good. Yeah.
If it was a really, yeah, I mean, when they finally agree to arranged marriages, like we've been trying to convince them for the last several years,
Make sure you pick the right guy.
But yeah, I mean, I would want them to be really thoughtful, prayerful, and patient, in selecting somebody. I pray for them every morning as I walk by their doors. I stop every day and I pray specifically for that because of how important I know that is going to be for the rest of their lives. It's a huge decision, and I feel like it was not like, it's kind of luck, but it was also, divine providence that we ended up together, because when you're 16, like, how can you make that kind of a decision? You know what I mean? You know nothing.
Right.
I still know nothing at 45, but
I tell my kids all the time, when in their relationships they're both dating guys right now, and they're asking me this, that, or other thing. I go, this is all practice. It's just practice. Like, you don't just practice. Yeah. Just don't worry about it. Just, it's just practice, just keep trying stuff out. So
if they can keep that mindset, that would be great. It's, without slipping into taking it, way too seriously. It can happen fast.
Oh my God.
You guys practicing right now? Do you think? Is that the thing that you say about your relationship?
Yeah, we're still learning and practicing
with each other
life, but we don't say it like that. We're just still learning, though. We say we're trying to help each other to be more expansive. I think that's the word we use a lot, because we know the potential is so much greater when we work with our partner's strengths instead of just the typical fundamental attribution error of like, I'm a little healthier, they're a little less healthy. So I think we really try hard to lean into like, okay, I see where you're coming from. It's really, really hard for me to do that because that's not who I am at the core.
Right.
And that's been really huge for us, is knowing
for
that
you,
we're
Christa,
not
the
trying
7,
to
or
change
you
it.
like, is that you just don't have, you're not as good at what would you call it? Empathy?
I would say,
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like when you say that, what are you describing?
I mean, I'm saying I can't always put on what he's asking me to put on, in terms of a new behavior. That's a very one-ish behavior. But I can usually relate to why. And I think that's become, of course, a helpful thing versus thinking, oh, I'm right, he's wrong. Now I know more about his core motivations as a 1. He wants to do the good and right thing, but I may not agree that that's the good and right thing. And so learning to find my voice respectfully, but also when he does have something that is good and right and that resonates with me, to put that on. And it's hard because, this is my partner's style. I wasn't surviving this way when I grew up, but they have found some success here. I see it in their life and I want to have it. Like he said, with my joy and me with his order, we see those things are good, but they're much harder for us to naturally and intuitively put on.
That's the trick.
So it's like we have to love each other for who we are now without any change, and each agree we're both going to try to change toward the best of not only each other's gifts, but the best of your gifts, Zach, as an 8. We want all the Enneagram type gifts. We don't want to just be a 7 or a 1.
Yeah. So we're always growing. I mean, this is one of the great things about being married, period. I mean, you're pulled out of yourself. You have to, and grow in ways that are not always fun. They could be quite painful, but it's good for you. It's not just about being happy, but being holy, to become better in that way. So I feel like, we do try to keep learning, what you naturally bring to the table. I don't naturally perceive about the world, but if I see sometimes through trial and error, over the years, that's actually could be a good thing for me, then I start yielding to that and I start growing in that direction. And it starts to kind of rub off on me, and we recently thought about it in terms of like light, it's like a 1 has this little light of mine shining in a particular wavelength, and she has a different kind of a glow. And then together we have a unique glow in the world, and you can almost tell when somebody's been like, this is a type 1 guy, but I can tell he's probably been married to a 7 because he's got this 7 glow to him,
Yes.
It's like this, you can tell it's rubbed off on him, you know what I mean? And the same for her. Like she's probably got some 1-ish glow on her, and then when we're together, we have this unique way that we can bless the world that's different than an 8 and a 2. Did you say she was a 2?
Yeah. Rebecca's a 2.
Like a 2-8 glow would be different than a 1-7 glow versus a 4-5 glow or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's been fun. It's been fun to learn in that way and to grow in that way. Life is a lot less painful when you do grow. I feel like I've told Christa many times, like especially as a 1, like I'm committed. Like this is till death do us part because partly because that's the right thing to do. Like I'm going to be true to my commitment to you and my vow before God and the witnesses that were there. I'm not going anywhere, but I want to be happy. I want us to live happily ever after, not just stuck together
Right,
till
that's
death
what
do
I
us
said.
part.
I'm like, you're not sticking with me unless you're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
And same for you.
I know. That's actually healthy. Sorry.
But it's so much better. Life is so much better when you and so the Enneagram has been one of the tools that's helped us to know how to grow in a very specific way, because you see like these arrows and these directions and these qualities that aren't natural to you that you could grow in, and you have some structure there. You're not just feeling your way through it as much and having the same argument over and over for 23 years or whatever, which we did for a long time till we discovered this system. Like we had these same arguments, and now we can avoid a lot of that. It's been great.
That's interesting. I want to pull on that rabbit trail, or I want to pull on that thread, but I want to also go back to something you said about just your vows. There you are. You're standing up. You got married when you were how old?
21.
So you're 21, you're standing in front of all your people and you're saying these vows. And I don't know about you, but like I got married at 24, I think, but I had no idea what I was saying. Like I mean, these words, they meant nothing to me like that. I understood them conceptually, but what do you think, like, what does 45-year-old you have to say to 21-year-old you if you had the ability to kind of pull you aside right before the wedding, be like, hey, I want to tell you this 1 or 2 things. Like, what do you think you would, I don't know, what is new or older you or more advanced you have to say to those younger versions?
That's a really big question. It's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, really true.
I mean, just like thinking off the top of my head, off the cuff, like I would say,
right. What have we learned?
I would definitely, I would say.
And would you listen? Would 21-year-old listen? If 45-year-old you walked into the room and said, hey, I got to tell you a couple of things, would 21-year-old you be like, I got this, don't worry?
I know. And I think we respond a lot better to the carrot than we do the stick, Okay. I think that in general, we don't always avoid punishment or avoid pain as well as we pursue pleasure and reward. And so I think I would focus on that, and I would say, you're going to have a lot of really amazing times. I would say, like, if you can really focus on those really wonderful ways that you guys have fun together, the really creative things that you're going to be able to bring to the table and offer to the world, you're going to avoid a lot of pain. Just focus on those things, spend a lot of time on them together, and energy and effort to developing them, so that you're not thinking about, the things you're frustrated about, the things you might be missing out on in life, because you're only 16 or 21 at the time or whatever, I would say that,
Yeah.
And so Yeah, because we've done that in some ways, but not always, and when we have, it's really blessed us.
Yeah.
I think those are some of the things that have kept us together, and that has really been how God's used us in the world, the most, to bless other people all over the place, is in the ways we've come together to have fun in creative ways together, and to make stuff, using your creativity and my editing skills.
Yeah. Time and again, we make mystery dinner games together. We just host parties. We travel, like we said, really well. I would say more than traveling, because who doesn't travel well? Because everyone loves a vacation, but like, we are good with children together. We've been part of raising 18 to 19 to even 20. I think we recently counted nieces and nephews. Plus our friends' kids are always at our house. And so I just think that there's a light that we carry of joy together when we're healthy. But for me, I would tell my old self that I would not hold Wes to such an idol. I think that when I watch my old video, I tell the girl, like, stop, you are ridiculously, like, this is a wonderful human. But you've got to stop thinking he's going to be perfect and that he is perfect.
Yeah.
We're both idealists as 7s and 1s, or 7s, 1s, and 4s that are idealists. And
I got one of those too. I got a 4 in my house.
Okay. You know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
It's like he is, separate out what you want, what you hope for from who he is. And you'll find you got really lucky and blessed with this man, but never worship him. And of course I would have told you then, oh, I don't at all. But when I look back and I see the codependency, I'm like, you were slobbering.
Yeah. I was thinking, not that I want to put words in your mouth, but I'm thinking about, like, what would I actually, like, what would you, I mean, you'd have to say something like, hey, by the way, you guys are still married in 30 years. Like, so you don't just understand that part. By the way, you also have 3 kids by the time you're 45. Right. So, so you gotta, like, what I mean? I mean, it would blow your mind. But so I was having the same conversation with a friend recently, and he turned this question around in a way that I want to ask you, because I've never done it before. But do you think that 21-year-old you or 16-year-old you has something to say to 45-year-old you? Like, is there a lesson that they have for you that maybe you've forgotten, or that you haven't, that has gone atrophied somehow?
Yeah. And I'll start with this one, if that's okay. I think that because I was so open about my emotions and so romanticized, and I've become such a thinking type 7 in the fullness we already had, we never said this, but tons of trauma before marriage, and then extended family trauma after marriage that weighed on us. And I think I just went into my personality thinking, planning type so much that sometimes he'll be more of a 7 than me and more fun, or even I think the romanticized passion of, like, really just open-heartedness toward him, that I could say, like, I get it that you don't need to worship him. And thank you for reminding me of that, but don't close your heart to him. That is something that I would really, I need to hear it. My friends are here to tell me that all the time. He tells me that because I'm always here for fun. But when it comes to open-heartedness, I think you really have to, if that's not your natural style, which it's not for me, you have to make it a practice. You have to cultivate it, because if you just let it be there, like, from all your medicine you do with people, it's almost like it's almost like a disease. It can just atrophy, and you can be like, okay, we're just in our rhythms, and I protect my heart. So
that's a good way to put it. I didn't think about it. Like a part of your body that you're trying to make grow.
Yeah.
These traits, these qualities, these virtues, like, you really need to actively exercise them, or your body, your mind, or your personality will let them atrophy. So I think thinking like 16-year-old me would probably, I don't know. I mean, they might say, don't forget, like, the things that I think and believe are good, that I've experienced are good. Don't forget those things. Because as time passes, it's really easy to do that. Just don't forget the magic of these experiences these experiences that you've had, these last, several months or a year or however much it was, maybe even, don't forget things that I had heard and learned from people that were much more prominent in my life at that time, but that are
gone now.
Yeah, they're gone now. They passed away, or I just don't see them or talk to them. That might be useful too, because if it's out of sight, it's sometimes out of mind, and so I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, great question.
I don't know what's helpful. I'm always trying to figure out like what what is this? What is it all for? What's it all for? What are we doing this for? And it seems like if we're not collecting life lessons along the way, it doesn't make too much sense. And then what's really edifying, and I don't know if you guys have had this experience yet, is to try and teach your kids stuff. And then, my kids have never learned a single thing until they decided they were ready. But then like my older daughter comes back from college and she's starting to tell me things and I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I told you that like 5 years ago, or yeah, that's the thing, so just, I feel like I need to be patient, maybe like 16-year-old me made to tell 51-year-old me to like, just slow it down a little bit, be patient and don't try and get it all done at once. So
that makes sense
for an age too.
I'm trying to take that on for my kids.
Yes.
So you use the buzzword, and I want to just visit it for a second. This idea that you had trauma before and there's this trauma after. And have you guys done marriage therapy before?
A couple times.
What was that like for you?
We had one amazing experience, one average, and then one poor.
Like the what is it? The Three Bears?
I think we've had 3 times. I think we've done 3 different times.
Yeah.
I think they were all pretty short-lived. They could have been longer. I think part of it was resistance from me more than once, at least. If I don't and I tell this to my patients every day, because I definitely have at least a couple patients every day that I have to refer for counseling for anxiety or depression, because that's like everybody,
It's in the wind right now.
Yeah.
But I tell them, listen, counseling can be very powerful, but it has to be somebody who really actually knows what they're talking about and who you have a good connection with. You know 100%. What I mean? So, and you don't always find that combo right away. So, and so I think we had the very first time we did some therapy, it was good. It was still, even then, I felt like not the very best connection, but it was still pretty good. And it was helpful. I feel like, it blessed us. And, but the other 2 times were not that helpful. Yeah. But I believe in it. I mean, obviously, she's blessed so many. I've watched it happen. We actually own a counseling center where we have other therapists work, with us. And, I believe in it. I know that we have needed it and that we might need it again in the future. And I'm open to that, because we're human.
So, Christa, let me ask you this. I tend to, when I'm supervising other clinicians and they're wanting to figure out, so I'll ask you one of my typical supervision questions. If you're on an airplane and, somebody says, hey, what do you do? And you're like, I work with couples. I'm a couples therapist or a coach or whatever. And they go, oh my God. What's the secret? Like, what is it? What's the deal? And you only got like a little bit of time. Yeah. What is it? What do you tell them? What is the heart of the work for you?
I really think at the heart of it, our partners have something to teach us. And if we allow ourselves to learn from them, that we'll be so blessed. And I think that I would also just add fun. Make sure you have fun date nights. Those are just, you're going to do the hard work. You might as well also add the fun. You cannot have one or the other. It has to be both.
So I'm sitting with you on the plane and I go, what's the secret? And you say 2 things. Number 1, it's let your partner influence you. Is that what you said? Let your partner influence you. And the second one is don't forget to have a good time while you're doing it all.
Correct.
Yeah.
You said it really better though.
Well, I don't know. That's the job we're in, right? People tell you stuff, and then you go, "Is this what you mean?
Yeah.
Is this what you're trying to? Is this what you're trying to communicate? Is this what you're trying to say?"
Yeah.
Terry Real, who's one of my, mentors, he likes to, when he's doing therapy, one of the things he always tucks in there is, did I get that right? Did I get that right? So he'll say, blah, 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 did I get that right? And he, and if he got it wrong, of course, or if I get it wrong, people go, no, it's this instead. Like, oh, okay. So it's really it's my, I'd like to try and see if I got it right before I run away with any of my assumptions.
That's so good. And I know Wes would love Terry Real style. He has to be in his field all the time, but it's amazing that he mentors you.
Yeah. Well, Terry at the moment, as you might imagine, is spread pretty thin, but I'm fortunate to be kind of I teach for the Institute. I teach for ROI. So he regularly kind of is in meetings with us, telling us like how to sharpen our saws, I guess is the phrase. So, yeah, it's been really fun. Well, what's next for you guys? What's coming up? What's on the horizon for the Hardins?
We have a new book that I'm writing about couples work on something that's Enneagram based, but it's not really at the same time. It's the instincts and desires of couples. Instead of 9 types, there's only 3. And so I'm having a lot of fun. We already had fun doing the work of this ourselves. It was sort of our own therapy that we did over a year where we balanced out our self-preserving and family-preserving instinct, our sexual instinct, and our social instinct. And spending a year on that every week, balancing that out together, even got us more in line. We're always going to be doing our Enneagram work, but this gives us this beautiful root system and baseline to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, each other, and then socially as well. And that is something I want to bring to the general public, not just this little Enneagram view, because I think it's missed a lot in marriage therapy is that self element and social. It's all about the one-to-one, right? So that's on my horizon. And then lately he's been having some fun, which of course as a 1, he needs clearly. And you can share what you've been up to.
Yeah, I've been having fun doing my own creative works. So one of the things that I used to be a science teacher, and so I was really into the intersection between science and faith, like the history of science from a Christian perspective, the philosophy of science, like the underpinnings, that go into how we can even do science being supported by the Christian worldview, and then the evidences for God from creation. And so I used to go around, speaking on that and developing resources for that. And I put it on the back burner when I went into medicine, but I've been getting into it again and having a lot of fun building a website and a bunch of resources for science teachers again, and then doing some writing. So I've been writing
this is great.
A non-fictional book, putting all this stuff together, and then a sci-fi novel because I'm a nerd. So
yeah,
he loves Jules Verne, H.G. Wells. It's not like Christian. It's just for anybody, but there is going to be some elements of what's out there. What's the movie? It's kind of like Contact.
Yeah, it's like the story's going to be maybe a blend between some different styles, like Carl Sagan's Contact, 2001: Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke, and even C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy. I don't know if you ever read those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of mixing some of those elements together, but writing my own story,
Yeah.
so that I can do like Lewis and communicate some of these very important truths in another way, because we all really respond well to stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes the same message will really hit home a lot better that way.
Yeah.
And so it's been really fun to think it through, and also to nerd out with using AI to do research. I've been having so much fun talking to Gemini on the commute home. And sometimes Christa gets jealous
like with your mouth?
that.
Are you driving in the car and you like talk with your mouth and you're like, "Hey Gemini," like on the commercials, or
he does that? Yeah.
Just turn it on and then you just have a conversation, and I'm asking like really nerdy stuff, what about Isaac Newton? Like, I want to know more about his personal life. Like, why didn't he marry? Was he autistic? Was that, just like different questions, and then about like really advanced science too, because I'm not, an astrophysicist, but I'm writing about one. And so having it broken down, like you asked at the beginning, like, tell it to me like I'm 8 years old or whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I can ask Gemini, like, if there was going to be a way to develop a wormhole, what would one need,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's been really fun to do that and then to incorporate that into a story. But like I'm saying, you know, Christa, she's like, but why don't you call and talk to me when you're bored on your way home, you know? And I'm like, we're just friends.
Yeah.
Me and Gemini are just
Me
friends.
and Gemini are just
Nothing
friends.
more than that.
I only asked
totally
once because
platonic.
I wanted to make sure I didn't leave my heart behind. I was like, am I that heart and dead that you have to talk to Gemini?
Now, if Gemini was ever put into a robot, you might have more competition.
So
but
I was on a flight I forget when, the last fall sometime, and I started doing some AI stuff that I don't do a lot of it, but I was talking to, I don't know, it wasn't Gemini, it was somebody else, but I was just typing, and I realized that about halfway through, I had given her the voice of Scarlett Johansson, like in that movie, that I think it's called Her.
that would be a problem.
So in my head, I'm having this conversation with Scarlett Johansson. I'm typing Zach voice and I'm hearing her voice back into me. So the plane lands and I'm like, hey, really sorry, I gotta go. It's time for
you
me
feel
to do
obligated.
this. I know, I did.
I know.
And then I got off and I was like waiting for my bag or something. And I was like, I miss Scarlett. Like I was like actually was having like an emotional response to the fact that I'd had like an hour-long dialogue with this, you know,
it's so
robot.
strange.
It's weird how it hits you.
You know, it's a whole new dynamic. It's like I honestly feel guilty if I don't say thank you or compliment. You know, I'm used to like reflecting back like, that's a great idea.
Like
you know,
that.
I really appreciate that. You know, like if I just treat it like some slave or something, you know, but that's basically what it is.
Do you thank Alexa and Siri?
Sometimes,
yeah.
I use Amazon Claude.
And then I feel
do
silly
too.
afterwards,
And
but
the enthusiasm builds with back to you. You know, it's like mirroring.
Yeah. It's probably good that we do that. You know, honestly, because if we start getting used to talking to another voice of any kind, rudely demand, you know, you might start treating real people like that. So
totally. Oh goodness. And your kids, you have a 19-year-old. What are they up to? Going to school, not going to school?
So Hannah's in the next room. She's doing artwork for an art class. She's real artist. She's the type 4. Yeah. And she's a dancer. She's teaching, you know, little 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds now in the same program where she graduated from. And she's, we love seeing her use her creative gifts to bless the world now. And it's been really fun to watch that happen. Mm-hmm. And also Christa's trying to keep her, you know, driven forward because that's not a natural inclination for her with her personality type. No. To be focused, to be driven, and to think practically, like financially, you know, how am I going to provide for myself or for my family, and what could I be doing right now to be working towards that, while still, you know, making room for being creative and stuff, because we can never take that away from her. I mean, that's really important to her. So
yeah, we love it. It's one of our favorite things about her, as I know you probably get.
So you got a 7 and a 1, parenting a 4, and do you know the rest?
Her next daughter is a 9, and then our son is basically 7/6. Okay. We're still figuring it out, but our 9 has been really hard in the way that people forget her all the time, and it's an every single day. I don't know. Do you have any 9s?
I have I'm 8, married to a 2. We have a 4 and another 8.
Okay. Yeah. Which, so you really understand the 4 piece, but the 9 is just another level. You can't even imagine the pain of just watching her be forgotten with all, because she's a body type like you and Wes. The strength of 8, 9, and 1 are so powerful. And the ways that she gets outgrouped, even today, something little, being left in the cold because she was the youngest. And it was like, really? They use that on you? I'm sure, you know, because you're younger, you have to stay out in the cold longer. But it's just, even a school that was a college, because she's a dual enroller. She'll be graduating high school this year with her AA. And she's like exemplary. She's in the theater and dance company, both, and a leader. But even the school was like once, we forgot, like we can't find her test scores anyway. And I'm like, this is so not.
No.
So
it's
heartbreaking.
uncanny.
But she's also learned to find her voice in the way that most, as we can all imagine, our adult nines are just learning to do this. The clients we see, the friends we have. And she's so powerful that I'm like, girl, have senioritis because you're about to leave this place and just launch, because she's a 9-wing 8. So her 8 has been extremely powerful, and she'll like talk to all of her professors about like, here's why your test wasn't fair. And just to see her using the justice orientation is phenomenal.
It's wonderful.
So,
She's going to bless the world in her own way too.
Yeah.
And it's nice that she has a mom who understands this stuff to try to help, guide her along so that she follows a trajectory without having to, hopefully hit so many roadblocks along the way. But we'll see. Yeah.
But I'm about done. She's a senior. And so I know we're all agreeing we're not done. But I said, here's a note I could write when somebody was doing some outgrouping with her. And I said, but I'm showing it to you. I'm not sending it. I said, you're almost graduated. Do you want this drama? And she's like, no, I don't. I said, because this is probably the last parent email I could write for you. And I will fight with my own 8-wing. But are we done, or are we going to keep going? And she goes, no, I think I'm good. I know who I am, and let's just drop it.
That's beautiful too.
Yeah. We could talk all day about our son as well, but he's 7-wing 6 or 6-wing 7 musician. He's already done some professional acting. Yeah. Heart of joy, extreme thinking type. He says, if you thought it, I already thunk it.
Yeah, to quote Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, he loves Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And
there you go.
Yeah. So
very cool. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me and just like letting me wander around in your story. It's been really fun to kind of flex this muscle on the podcast and also just get to know people and hear like how they're making it work. Because as you know, there is no secret. Like it is like you guys have a secret and they have a secret and they have a secret, and we all just have to figure out what the secret is. So I'm really grateful to talk to you. Yeah.
Thank you,
and we appreciate this opportunity, It's good for us to think these things through, to be asked questions like those. I mean, those were some good questions.
I know.
That I'll still be mulling over.
He will.
And that she'll still be asking me the answers to later.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
Why didn't you answer this?
Well, we're friends now. So if you want to go deeper, or you want to ask me a question in return, I'm happy to bat it back and forth.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
You have a very important job.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
You are, God is using you to save the world. Those relationships, those families.
Well, that's what 8th are for. That's why we're here. So we can clean it all up.
Superheroes.
So
you better believe it, man. You keep it up.
Yes.
Thanks,
and we'll
guys.
have you on our pod if you would ever enjoy that.
Of course. I'm glad to know you both. Okay. Thanks again to Wes and Christa Hardin for joining me and talking to me about how they make their relationship work. It was really cool. I was delighted to get into that sort of mini conversation about how AI works there at the end. I hope you got a chuckle out of that. I hope you will take some inspiration from what you learned from them. If you're interested in more of understanding how the Enneagram works, you can find and follow her on Instagram at Enneagram and Marriage. And again, I'm excited to roll a few more interviews out over the next few weeks. And between now and then, I will thank you for the time and attention that you're putting into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.